Oh, dear sweet Celestia. It's Alexander from Amnesia Dark Descent. The shadow is returning. Repent! Repent! Objection! Hello, every pony. I'm MasterCode, your ace analyst, and today we'll be taking a look at issue number 2 of the MLP G5 comics. We pick up immediately after the first issue ended, with the group looking around for the missing crystal and Izzy, and they eventually come across the Gate of Ancients and enter the ruins of Canterlot.
Man, this place smells like shit!
As the group explores the rubble and broken down buildings, Sunny is completely starstruck, and I gotta admit, it is pretty adorable.
Aww.
But she still maintains focus on the mission, on finding Izzy and the missing crystal. But overall, her excitement is really getting me into the story. I also like how Hitch and Zip are in full-on detective mode, sneaking around looking for the perpetrator.
Sneaking, I am sneaking.
Anyway, the group eventually finds Izzy doing this.
If you wish to know someone, walk in their shoes or hover.
Anyway, they continue their exploration, and though Sunny is in a state of bliss, I do particularly like this exchange between her and Izzy about discussing the future of the three races united once again, and how long it could realistically last. Ever since she was young, Sunny along with her father believed that all ponies could live amongst one another like in the days of old. She had a very idealistic view of the world that every pony could live peacefully with one another and recreate the good times during Twilight's rule. Through trials and tribulations, that idea eventually came to fruition. However, as we saw in the Make Your Mark special, everything wasn't perfect as there was still conflict between the three races. And while that was also resolved, Sunny has now seen twice in her lifetime harmony between ponies collapse, and fears that history could realistically repeat itself. It's a relatable conflict of belief that many have that adds a great level of somewhat depressing realism to the story. There are a good amount of funny moments in this comic, but the writing doesn't shy away from real-world struggles. After infiltrating the royal palace and throne room, much to the delight of Sunny, they fall into a trapdoor to a lovely dinner. So who is the one responsible for all this? Granny Goodness! Nah, just kidding, it was actually Reginald Fursum! Alright, it's actually the Lord of Chaos, Discord! Oh, knock it off. So, yeah, Discord's back. Looking a little worse for wear after all these years. Honestly, I do like his new withered design, making the Triconicus look even more chaotic and aged with his massive mane, eyebrows, and long claw nails. Yet he still feels like his old comedic eccentric self, breaking the fourth wall and using his magic in creative ways. He then proceeds to tell the group about the days of old where everything was all sunshine and rainbows.
But that all changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Well, kind of. All that changed, however, when a mysterious pony, who is heavily implied as the villain at the end of the Make Your Mark special, goes around spreading lies and slander, pitting the three races against each other, and along with that, a damaging storm that lasted for many moons, indicative of the one that nearly destroyed Maritime Bay. And yes, this is very similar to what Cozy Glow, Chrysalis, and Tyrek did to cause unrest amongst every pony in Equestria, but I still buy it as Equestria in this age of happiness and prosperity would make ideal targets for the few who would take advantage of the naivete of every pony's happiness. Now finally we come to the origin of the crystals. They were indeed created by Twilight, and their function is that they were infused with the entirety of all the world's magic into just these three crystals. And that as long as harmony remains in the world, magic will remain alive and well throughout Equestria.
There is logic in what he says.
Wow, that's a pretty big drastic step. No harmony, no magic.
Nothing for you!
As we saw with Maritime Bay's near complete and total collapse, that seemed to be something that Twilight didn't quite account for. Which means if any pony stole the crystals or they became lost, then all magic would be lost forever or could be used for malicious intent. Boy, I hope she had a strong lockbox for those things. But apparently the void and civil unrest that plagued the land for so long seemed to be fixed by the creation of these gems. Extreme move, but if Equestria was on the brink of destruction, I believe that Twilight and her friends would take such drastic steps to save the world. Was it the best option? No. But if it's Harmony versus Annihilation, I think Twilight made the right decision. It's also revealed that Discord was the one who stole the crystal. Oh, shut up. One of my fears going into this was that the writers were just going to make him a straight-up villain, but even though he did steal the crystal, his motivations make sense. He saw the pain and suffering that ponies endured during the dark times, and he feared that with the crystals found once again, history would repeat itself. Discord has always been known to make rash decisions in the past, especially when something could affect the well-being of Fluttershy. Since his reformation, he's come to embrace friendship and wouldn't want anything to compromise it. Anyway, he plans to destroy the crystal, but every pony disagrees that Equestria should have access to magic. Izzy is somewhat ambivalent, recalling the time she felt left out, which was set up in the previous issue. The plot point feels organic as Izzy's attitude toward these situations was rather mature despite her sadness, which Discord picks up on as Fluttershy would often let things go despite hurt feelings. The gang attempts to fight back, but they are no match for the Lord of Chaos, and they get tied up with Discord planning to destroy the gem once and for all, leaving us on an epic cliffhanger. And that was issue number 2 of the MLP G5 comics, and I gotta say, this was really good. Lots of interesting plot points being dropped, some great character interactions and motivations, and I didn't even mention even half the funny jokes in this comic. There's really not much more to say other than I'm psyched for the next issue and see how things go down. Well, that's it for today, guys. Until next time, MC out!